Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm thrilled to introduce you to Coach Ankita. Ankita has been a coach at the BBR since 2017. She is a rock star coach. She's a certified personal trainer, a doctorate in physical therapy student, graduating in 2021. And she's also a certified health mindset coach, which is super cool. So I'm going to hand the baton over to Ankita to introduce herself. We're going to dive into some Q&A and then ask some fun questions at the end. So Ankita, can you share with us a little bit more about yourself? How did you get into fitness? What was your story?
Of course. Thanks for having me here today, Dee. I'm so happy to have this platform to kind of talk about some things today. So starting out, let's talk about how I got into fitness because it's actually one of my favorite stories. My fitness journey started out like most people in gym class, and contrary to popular belief, I hated gym class. In fact, it was like public humiliation for me because I was never the fastest, I was never the tallest, and I was definitely not the most agile. So every day when we had to go to gym class, I was just mortified when I got picked last for teams or when I was the last one to finish like the mile races. So it was just humiliating and traumatizing and really left a bad taste in my mouth the first half of my life. So I didn't step back into a gym or start getting into fitness until one day one of my friends dragged me to a group fitness class where conveniently I hit in the back because of my trauma from gym class. And I walked into that class and I just loved the environment and how I recognized that I could still be active and have fun and not be the most active or the most agile person in the room. So I started doing group fitness for a bit.
Gym class sucked. Like, I will tell you, it was so, when you're a nerd, gym class sucks because
yes, I was definitely team nerd.
Yes, I personally was very into academics and never was very athletic, and I totally feel you on the being pressured and being last to be picked and things like that.
Yeah. And so continuing on, when I got to college, that was the first time I had to actually kind of structure my own workouts because at that point I knew fitness and working out helped me with my stress and helped me feel better and more confident. But I had no idea what to do when I stepped into a gym on my own, and it's a very intimidating space. So like, do you remember your first experience at the gym? Like the first day you ever went to a gym?
The first day I went into the gym. I don't exactly, but I do remember probably running straight to the cardio machines and avoiding the weights at all cost.
Oh yeah. So same story here. I beeline to the treadmill because that's the only machine I knew how to work. Everything else looked really intimidating, like the weight machines and then especially the weight room. And I just kind of kept my head low because I thought everyone was looking at me. It was super intimidating to be in that zone. And also I had no idea what I was doing there. So I kept a low profile and walked out probably within the next 20 minutes. And so over time, I kind of learned that, you aren't the only person in the gym that people are looking at. Most people are in their own zone. And it honestly took me about 2 years to get the confidence to go into the actual weight room. But once I did, it was a total game changer. I think another thing that also really intimidated me was being a South Asian female in that space because in the area that I went to college in was predominantly white. And so there weren't a lot of people that looked like me in the gym and online in the fitness space. So that's what kind of led to my passion of being a fitness coach in general, because as I got more comfortable with myself, as I got more comfortable with the gym, I realized that there's so many of us that hold ourselves back because we're intimidated by the gym. And so I really wanted to help women understand how to work that area, understand how to live their most confident and healthy lives. And then that's also why I went to school for physical therapy, just because the human movement aspect of things really fascinates me. So in a nutshell, I started out fitness being really intimidated and the nerd that got picked last on teams, but now I'm very thankful to be in the space that I am in now.
Such an awesome and inspiring story, and I'm sure so many of the people watching can relate to feeling just so intimidated by the gym.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but just that space, at least for me, used to induce so much anxiety. Like just even like going into that space, it just feels like such a male dominated space and you don't know what to
Hmm.
do and you're afraid of embarrassing yourself or looking silly or things like that. So
Agreed.
that's yeah, that's awesome that you had that journey. So what were some of the things that you learned how to do in the gym that felt really good for you?
So lifting weights, definitely. That was the biggest game changer because I'll talk about this later if we get to it, but I absolutely hate cardio. Like I dreaded the treadmill. And so the thought of going on the treadmill every day made working out so much more of a chore. But once I kind of went into the weight area and really enjoyed what I was doing and kind of felt very empowered every time I would walk out of there, I like I felt so much better about going to the gym and loving what I do every day.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So now today as a coach, what are some of the things that you enjoy helping your clients with?
So one of my favorite types of calls that I have with clients is when we really make those mindset shifts where we have a conversation where we really dive into like the client's true potential and where they realize like all the possibilities that they can actually do and kind of bust through those ceilings of all the self-doubt and like not feeling good enough or feeling like a failure. But like those are my favorite types of calls are when we make those mindset breakthroughs.
That's awesome. Did you have any of those in your own journey?
I think I was fortunate enough that my family is one of those families that are annoyingly positive. And so I kind of grew up with a more positive self talk. But at the same time, when you go to college and you see all these people that you want to look like or people that are more popular, that kind of contest, it can really get to you. So I know I was very self conscious of my height because I'm only 5 feet tall. And when you're 5 feet tall, I always felt like I had to own the space more or be bigger in a way. And so that really got to me and got to my confidence. And, after I started lifting weights, I realized that, I can be a very confident person and kind of be a badass when I lift weights because it's just you versus you. So, in a way, my health and fitness journey affected my uh, self talk to myself and increased my confidence.
Yeah, I mean, fitness is definitely one of those things that can really improve your confidence, especially as you see yourself getting stronger and more capable and just being able to do more things.
Definitely.
Okay, what's one thing that you wish all your clients knew when trying to lose weight?
So I think one of those things is that you don't have to give up your favorite foods to lose weight. I know I thought I had to give up my favorite ice cream in order to get leaner. But it's not like that. We're so conditioned to believe that foods are either bad or good. And in order to be healthy or to lose weight, you have to only eat good foods. But it's really about like moderation and balance. So you can eat your cupcakes and still get lean. It's just about finding the right keys for that.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I think that's a big thing that people get wrong. Like they think in terms of black and white and they're like, I can't eat this, I can't eat that. And that kind of like simplistic mentality might work for like a week, but doesn't really last very long.
Yeah, and then I think we've all been there where we can't do something for so long that it just increases the want to do it. And then you end up like a whole empty bag deep of your favorite chips because you haven't had it for so long.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that a lot of us get wrong is just knowing that we can still eat our favorite things just in moderation.
Yeah, totally. It's like if somebody has like a box and is like, don't look inside the box, don't look inside the box.
Yes,
The thing you're going to want to do is look inside the box, right? So
exactly.
the more you restrict something, the more it can often increase that just desire for it.
Yep.
So, okay, cool. So how do you motivate yourself to work out when you don't feel like it?
I want to say that I'm often not motivated to work out, to be honest. So I love this question. I eventually get around to working out because of my discipline and because of the 5 second rule.
Okay.
And so the 5 second rule is this thing coined by Mel Robbins, but it's basically a countdown that you have in your head to get you to do what you want. So basically, you have 5 seconds between your intention and an action before your brain kind of sabotages it and is like, we don't need to do that. So what I will literally do, because this usually happens after I've been scrolling on my phone for a while, is I will count down in my head 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then get up. And it really works. It sounds crazy, but if you just imagine this countdown for yourself, it like gets your body in motion.
Yeah. It's like
And
a rocket ship. 5, 4, 3, 2,
yeah,
1.
like a rocket ship, exactly. And then also like one of the most simple things, but just changing into workout clothes has really helped me.
Yeah. Yeah. Such a simple thing, but so effective for your brain to just get triggered to go work out.
Yes, definitely.
I say as I wear leggings and don't work out. Okay, cool. So if somebody wanted to start their fitness journey and had no idea where to start, what advice would you give them? Other than to, of course, join BPR.
Of course, join BPR. Let's work together. But I think just breaking it down into a really small chunk that works for you. So I think when a lot of us start our fitness journey, it's this huge thing and you have to eat healthy and you have to drink all your water and you have to work out 3 times a week. And if you've never done that before, it's like a huge it's a huge wave kind of that you're staring at. And so I think just breaking it down into one small actionable item that you can commit to a week is how you get to change. So like if I had to give any advice to anyone, it'd be just like moving, like just getting your steps. If you've been hitting like 500 to 1,000 steps, like what if we got 2,000 steps this week? And then working on that and kind of compounding those small habits is ultimately what leads to change. Yeah. So just start small. That's my biggest piece of advice.
Yeah. I guess, what would you say to somebody though that feels like that's too slow or wants to kind of do all the things at once? Because I know, when you're making this change, you have all this motivation and it's so tempting to just do all the things and then kind of burn yourself out. So how would you kind of speak to that?
So I think, let's think about it in terms of finances. So if your goal is to get rich, you don't sit around waiting for $1 million check every day. Like that won't get you rich. And most of the time you'll probably be spending your time waiting instead of working. So instead, the way most of us get rich is not by winning the lottery, but by investing our dollars and nickels and dimes. And those things compound to a bigger bank account. So similarly, in terms of fitness, we all want to do a million things at once and start out being perfectionists and doing everything. But like, that's just going to be like waiting for your $1 million check to come in. It might happen, which is great, but most times it might not. So focusing on kind of like the dollar or nickel exchanges that we can do in terms of your fitness goals will be more effective and more sustainable for you in the long run.
Yeah, that makes so much. I love your analogies. They make so much sense.
Thank you.
I think it is really tempting to jump into all these like crazy diets or extreme methods, and it feels like it should work, but then, when you take a step back and like look at the patterns that you've done in the past and kind of look at things logically, you realize like, okay, that can't really keep my foot 100% on the pedal for very long. It needs to be a sustained approach. It's a marathon, not a sprint, as they say.
Exactly. I love that.
Cool. So we talked about this a little bit in previous questions, but what is something that most people get wrong about health and fitness? If there's anything more you'd like to add.
So I want to talk about this because this is something that I got wrong that we talked about briefly before, but the fact that you have to do cardio when you're working out. I will be the first to admit that I was the person who would go straight to the treadmills, and I hated everything about cardio. I still hate everything about cardio. And so I think something that is a very popular myth about health and fitness is that you have to run on the treadmill or you have to do the stair climber to get fit. For some people that works and that's great, but for others of us, there's so many other exercises that I personally enjoy way more and are more effective for me to get to my goals. So you don't have to do cardio if you don't like it. I mean, it still has benefits, but it's not the only thing in the bag.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think you really don't need to do cardio to see weight loss. I mean, can definitely help for general physical health and cardiovascular health, as you know. But there's also so many ways of cardio, right? Like going for a walk can be cardio, like just lower or dancing or things like that.
Yeah. Do you prefer cardio or are you a weights person?
I used to be a huge cardio bunny and now I'm a weights person, but I know that cardio is like good for me, so I try and do some. I don't
Mhm.
typically do like formal treadmill cardio. I usually do like a walk with my dog every day or trying to hit a certain step count, or like sometimes I'll go for like a light jog with me and my dog.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't do a ton of it anymore.
Yeah.
But but yeah, I mean, I definitely also I have clients who love cardio and they, we program more of it into their plan, but they obviously don't have to do that. Nutrition is really what's going to drive the weight loss pieces of it.
Agreed. Agreed.
Okay, cool. Let's move to some fun questions. So, what is your favorite healthy meal to make?
My favorite healthy meal is taco bowls. I absolutely love meal prepping them, and I'm a sucker for Mexican food. If anyone's interested in the recipe, it's super easy. All you do is like a bed of lettuce with some rice and beans, and then I like adding some sauteed like onions and peppers and some salsa and cheese and guac. That's like the key
Oh,
ingredient.
great. Do you add any like taco seasoning onto the peppers or
Oh
anything?
yeah, and then I eat meat, so like ground turkey I'll season with some taco seasoning and all that. And I've also found that Greek yogurt is a really good swap for sour cream.
Hmm.
That's a little lighter on calories, so definitely recommend trying that if you haven't already.
Yeah, I gotta check that out. That sounds amazing. Um, cool. So, what's your favorite indulgent food?
Ooh, um, so I am a firm believer that there is no season for ice cream, and so that is definitely my favorite treat. I love cookie dough ice cream. That is definitely
Um,
Achilles heel.
any specific brand?
I'm still on the search for the best ice cream to cookie dough ratio. There are some disappointing brands that I've had, but I haven't found the perfect ratio yet.
Gotta get those ratios. That's so fun.
Yes.
I don't know if you're into like the lighter, healthier versions of ice cream, but I recently tried Halo Top. They make these little ice cream popsicles that
Mhm.
are like lower calorie, and you can get their popsicles are 50 calories and they have a cookie dough flavor that is bomb.
Well, I'll have to add that to my grocery list this week.
Also, Yasso, the brand Yasso makes Greek yogurt bars, and they have a chocolate chip cookie dough flavor, and it is also so.
Mm. I'll have to check those out.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're probably not like Ben and Jerry's flavor, but to me they're pretty good. They're pretty good.
Okay, I take your word for it. As long as it's got the cookie dough bits, that's all we're here for.
What's a fun fact that most people don't know about you?
I think a fun fact, so my ethnicity gets confused a lot. I've had everything from Hispanic to who knows what, but I am actually Bengali and I speak Bengali at home. But I was born in Maharashtra and I grew up in the States for most of my life, but
Oh,
kind
cool.
of like a hybrid
Yeah,
Indian girl.
I didn't know that you were born in India. I was too.
Yeah, where were you born?
I was born in Chandigarh. My parents
Okay.
in medical school up in that region, and they had me there.
Hmm.
So, so were you an Indian citizen for most of your life?
Yes, yes.
Okay. When did you get U.S. citizenship?
So I got US citizenship under my parents when I think I was 16, 15 or 16, but I still remember to this day like helping them with the questions for the US citizenship exam, which are actually really hard. I didn't know, and I was taking US history at the time in high school.
Yeah,
Uh, but I got kind of slid in under my parents when they got citizenship.
that's awesome. Um, cool. What's your favorite brand of workout clothes?
So I don't have a favorite brand necessarily that I can say I commit to, but I my favorite place to look for workout clothes is TJ Maxx or Marshalls. Like those
Hmm,
stores
okay.
usually have really good discounts on workout clothes and some pretty good brands.
Okay. Gotta check those out. Recently I've been trying the Amazon like Lululemon dupes
Oh yeah, yeah.
and checking out what workout clothes are there on Amazon. I did a Black Friday haul that I'm still waiting in the mail, but I'll share if they're good, you guys.
Yeah, you'll have to give us the review on that.
So you kind of answered this question earlier, but do you speak any other languages?
So I speak Bengali at home with my family, and then I understand Hindi, like I'd say 75%, but it definitely helps when there's subtitles on the Hindi movies. But I can get a pretty good understanding of Hindi, but I speak Bengali fluently.
Got it. So cool.
Mhm.
What's your biggest pet peeve?
Oh, my biggest pet peeve is when people slurp their straws. I think that is the most disgusting thing. And I know it's so particular, but it drives me up a wall when people are kind of, at the bottom of their drink and they just slurp up. Oh, ew, yeah, it just grosses me out. Oh, I can't be in the area when people do that.
So funny. So funny. When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
So, going back to the fact that I was a total nerd when I was a kid, I wanted to be a dentist for the longest time. No idea why. I have a lot of respect for the dentists out there, but
Yeah.
I think my profession as a physical therapist suits me a little more now. Um,
Yeah.
and then in the middle of childhood, I also wanted to be like a NASA astronaut. I thought that
That's
was cool.
awesome.
I also wanted to be like a radio show host. I
Oh,
love that. So I was a very nerdy, ambitious kid, I would
yeah.
say.
That's funny, a dentist. Like, I don't know many kids who want to be a dentist when they grow up.
I
So,
know, that's just how lame I was as a kid. I wanted to be a dentist, but yes, lots of respect to all the dentists out there, just not the profession for me anymore.
yeah, I feel you. Um, I don't know if I told you, but when I was a kid, I wanted to be a zookeeper because I really liked animals. And then my
Uh-huh.
mom told me that I'd have to, my mom told me I'd have to shovel elephant poop. She crushed my dream, and I wanted to change after that.
She wasn't wrong about that fact.
I wasn't wrong about it. Okay, couple more fun questions. So, who is your celebrity crush?
Celebrity crush is definitely Hrithik Roshan. I think he is such a stunner. I know we've talked about this, but he is, and his dance moves are just.
His dance moves are fire. They're fire. Even like as an older person now,
Ah,
he's
he's
still,
aged very well.
yeah, very good aging. Okay, last question. Favorite drink, either alcoholic or non, if you drink or don't.
So my favorite weekday drink is water. I know that's really lame, but I just love a nice tall
Water,
glass.
yeah, water is awesome.
And then on my Friday nights, I love a chilled glass of red wine or a nice refreshing mojito. I would say those are my favorites.
Amazing. Yeah.
Mhm.
Cool. So those were all the fun questions. Are there any other things you'd like to share with our audience or say to anybody who's considering working with you or working with BBR?
Yeah, so thanks for all those questions. I would just say, if you are debating signing up for BBR or signing up for coaching, like it's definitely a decision that is an investment in yourself. And this journey is going to have its ups and downs, but we are a team together. I'm really excited to work with you if I'm your coach, but also I know what it feels like to be in your shoes because that's where I was about 5 years ago. And so I know all that self-doubt and all that fear of failure and the intimidation around the gym. So when you sign up for a program like this program is going to work for you because we've been in your exact shoes. I think Dee and I both have. So I think if like you're in the right place if you are debating it, and I would love to work with you.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I think it's so important to just remember that, like you said, like you're not alone. Even if most of us have probably gone through something similar, but even if we haven't matched your exact struggle 100%, we can still really relate to it and support you and empathize. And if we haven't, one of our teammates or one of the other amazing women in our community can really, support you and relate to you. So it
Yes,
can definitely be scary to sign up for a coach and ask for help and get support, but it's only going to be positive for you, and we're really excited to potentially welcome you to our team.
yes,
Yeah, and excited for all the results you're going to see.
of course, definitely.
All right, have a great day, everybody. If you have more questions for Ankita, you can follow her on Instagram. Her Instagram is at unkickit. I'll pop it in the comment box below. And you can always message me on Instagram if you have more questions as well, or if you want to get her handle. All right, have a great rest of your day and talk to you guys later.